Good morning. In the heart of a bustling city where the skyline glimmered with the promise of progress and prosperity, Philip Adler, a well-known politician, sat alone in his opulent office. The room, adorned with polished mahogany and floor-to-ceiling windows, offered a commanding view of the cityscape below. Despite the grandeur, the atmosphere was heavy with a palpable tension. The media frenzy outside mirrored the turmoil within. The recent scandal had rocked Philip Adler's career. Private misdeeds, exposed and sensationalized by the press, had led to public outrage. Once celebrated for his charisma and achievements, Adler now faced a maelstrom of criticism and skepticism. The weight of the public's disillusionment bore down on him as he prepared for his first public appearance since the scandal broke. The day of the press conference arrived, and the setting was electric with anticipation. The Grand Hall, usually a place of celebratory speeches and political promises, was now charged with an air of grim expectancy. Reporters, their cameras and recorders poised, buzzed with murmurs and speculation. Adler, his face drawn and weary, approached the podium. As he stood before the sea of flashing cameras, the gravity of his situation was unmistakable. The room was awash in a cold, clinical light, and the echoes of muffled conversations created a stark contrast to the looming silence. Philip cleared his throat, his hands trembling slightly as he adjusted the microphone. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady but tinged with vulnerability. "I stand before you not to offer excuses, but to acknowledge the truth." The room fell silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. "I am human," Adler continued, his eyes meeting those of the reporters. "I have made mistakes that I deeply regret. I have lived under the illusion that I was infallible, that my position somehow placed me above the ordinary fallibilities of human nature." He paused, allowing his words to sink in. The sincerity in his voice was palpable, cutting through the usual veneer of political rhetoric. "In my pursuit of success, I neglected the fundamental truth that to err is human. I have not always lived up to my own values, and for that I am profoundly sorry." The confession, raw and unvarnished, resonated deeply. The media, initially poised for another round of sensationalism, found themselves caught off guard by the unexpected honesty. The cameras clicked, not in a frenzy, but with a sense of newfound respect. As the days went by, Adler's forthrightness began to transform public perception. Instead of being cast aside, he was met with a surprising wave of empathy and understanding. His willingness to openly confront his flaws sparked conversations about human imperfection and redemption. The public discourse shifted from a focus on his errors to a reflection on the nature of forgiveness and personal growth. Adler's subsequent actions mirrored his newfound perspective. He worked tirelessly on initiatives to improve social welfare, focusing on transparency and accountability. His efforts were not merely a means to rebuild his image, but a genuine attempt to make amends and contribute positively to society. The final chapter of this narrative saw Philip Adler at a charity event, surrounded by individuals from diverse walks of life, all united in a common cause. The once controversial figure now found himself embraced by those he had once alienated. His journey from disgrace to redemption became a powerful testament to the strength found in human vulnerability and the potential for growth that arises from acknowledging one's flaws. In reflecting on Philip Adler's transformation, consider how embracing and acknowledging our own imperfections can lead to profound personal growth and genuine connections with others. Today, take a moment to identify a personal weakness or mistake and confront it with honesty. How can accepting and addressing this aspect of yourself lead to a more authentic and fulfilling path forward?